So when it comes to getting headshots, there's no magical pill that'll instantly help you get headshots and be better at aiming. But there are a few tips and tricks, better spots, better maps, better game modes, and warm-ups that you can do that can drastically improve your aim and help you get those headshots a lot quicker. So first we'll start off with the settings and then we'll move into the other tips and tricks. So first you come into your settings, you go to controller, and one of the most important things obviously is having a sensitivity that works well for you. Not everyone has the same sensitivity. It's going to work with you depending on the size of your hand, the way you play, the length of your sticks, if you've got an extender on there. So because if you have an extender, you can give yourself a higher sensitivity, but if you have small low sticks or normal sticks, I'd probably lower your sensitivity. Somewhere between say 5 and 10 is generally a good range to be in between. We move on down, make sure your controller vibration is off, trigger effects is off, and your dead zone is very important as well. So you want to make sure your dead zone for your right stick, your aiming stick, is as low as possible without having any stick drift. Your left stick is just for movement, so that one doesn't matter. You want to find where you have stick drift up until. What you need to do is you just go into the firing range. So just pick any weapon, it doesn't really matter. Jump into the firing range, set yourself up, come into your dead zone settings, and you can set this right down and you put this on, and as you can see my hand is off the trigger and it's moving slowly, so that means I have stick drift. All you need to do basically is keep going into your settings and bumping this up until it stops. So you get it, set it up on their head, and as you can see when I bump mine up to 2, it generally doesn't move. Most of the time it'll stay there, but every now and again I do get a bit of stick drift, so I just set mine to 3 to be safe. Your stick drift is up around like 10 plus. I'd probably look at maybe replacing your controller. If it's at like 20, you need a new controller. If this video is helping you out, make sure that you hit that like button. It really helps me out. Moving over to our aim settings, the only thing I'd really look at doing is ADS sensitivity multiplier. So you want to set this to whatever works best for you. If you've got your sensitivity up higher, especially in that close range fight, you want to have a higher sensitivity, you can lower your ADS multiplier so that when you're aiming, you have more control. So I set mine to 0.8. You go into your advanced aiming settings. What you want to do is set your ADS sensitivity transition timing to instant. So as soon as you aim, it'll change to that 0.8 sensitivity. As for your aim response curve, I'd set this to dynamic. It's been proven and all the pros use it, so let's just trust them. And of course with our target aim assist, we want that on, and we turn our motion sensor behavior off, as that's the gyro and moving your controller around. Now one of the most important things when it comes to getting more headshots is having your class set up right. Obviously when you first unlock a weapon or you haven't used a weapon first, you're going to have no attachments, but as soon as you do start unlocking attachments, depending on what weapon you're using, you want to start working on recoil control and getting an optic on there that works best for you, that helps you get more headshots. So the first thing I used to do when I was getting these weapons up to dark matter and getting those headshots, as soon as I unlock the underbarrel, you'd put on the vertical foregrip. That helps out massively with our horizontal recoil control. The next one is the muzzle. As soon as you'd unlock a compensator to help out with that vertical recoil control. The next thing you want to be working on is an optic. Whatever optic works best for you and you find that you get more headshots with. I test out a few, but what I found the best one to work for me to getting headshots, basically any hollow scope I found with the circle. As you can see, if we go to the firing range, this kind of sight where there's a circle and a dot in the center, I found worked best for me to help me get more headshots. I pretty much just put that circle on their head. When it comes to your other two attachments, the magazine doesn't really matter, but I would try and get more rounds or faster reloading so you don't miss those shots or you get caught with your pants down. The next thing, if you're going to sit there and hold a point or you're going to camp, you probably don't need a rear grip to improve that aim down sight speed. You probably want to work with more recoil control, so you can come over to your fire mods, and if you've unlocked it for the certain weapon, a recoil spring can improve your recoil control as well, or you can work on putting a stock on to reduce that flinch. So say a heavy stock or the certain stock for that weapon that helps reduce the flinch. But that's the most important thing when it comes to getting headshots, is reducing your recoil as much as possible so you can control it and keep it on the head, and getting a sight that works best for you to help you aim at the head and get more headshots. As for the rest of your class setup, it doesn't matter too much when it comes to getting more headshots. Just set it up however you want. Ghost can help when you're trying to camp, but of course this doesn't work when you're not moving. So this is all personal preference. I just put on whatever works best for you, whatever you prefer. And as for your wild card, it doesn't matter too much either. You can put on Gunfighter to give yourself 3 extra attachments that can improve this weapon a little bit more to help you control it a bit more. Another quick thing you can do that will drastically improve your ability to get headshots is do a warm-up against bots. I know a lot of people aren't going to do this or want to do this, so I'll leave chapters down below just so you can skip ahead, but you can make this as short or as long as you want. Generally, you can probably set it up so it's only 30 kills, or you can set it up all the way to 200, but in the time it takes to kill 200 bots, hey, you probably could have got that amount of headshots in the game that you're going to get over the whole night. So maybe make it a bit shorter, but it would definitely help with your aim. So all you need to do is go to find a match. You come right down to the bottom here and go to private match. Set up the weapon you want to use or you're practicing on. So let's just say we'll use the XM4 for this one. With your class, make sure you have the assault field pack so you've got unlimited ammo. Come over to your game setup. With this, you've got 2 different settings. So standard mode are all standard maps, and the alternate mode up here is actually all the face-off maps. So you can't actually go into face-off maps. Say if you want to do this on a free-for-all, you need to come over to alternate maps if you want to use the smaller maps, but standard does have Nuketown, so you can set it up on standard. I'd put it on free-for-all, and we can come over, set this up in Nuketown. The only rules we really need to worry about is a time limit. If you're worried about that, you want to set the score limit to however many kills you want to get. Say you want to go for 30, we'll just leave it there. Score limit, you don't want to spend more than 10 minutes in here. Then we come over to player's health. We want to set the player's health up to 300, because if this isn't at 300, you'll basically get a one-shot headshot every time, no matter what gun you're using, and it doesn't really help you practice getting those headshots unless you're going for it in hardcore. I generally like to set it to 300 just so I get more time aiming for that head. I put the health regen to fast. It just helps so you're not dying as much. We jump over to team. You can turn kill cam off. It just speeds up the game a bit more. If you want to work on your minimap awareness, this can also help by putting this on normal sweep or fast sweep or constant. That way you're always looking in the minimap. You can practice that as well while you're trying to get those headshots. And as for gameplay, the most important part is we want to turn headshots only on. So we'll put that on. So this really helps us work on getting headshots, as no other damage will count. Another little thing that I do that helps so we don't run out of ammo is I allow field upgrades, and I put the field upgrade charge rate to 10, and you put the multiplier up to 10 as well, so you'll basically instantly be getting assault packs and you'll never run out of ammo. I normally turn score streaks off because we don't really want any bots to be getting them, but that's about it. We jump back out. Make sure you come up here and put some bots in. So depending on how crazy you want to be, you can have a max of 11, which I'll normally set it to 11 because this map's decently sized, so you can work with 11 people, and then we just start the match. Once you're in the match, all you want to be doing is going for headshots. A big thing you want to be working on and making sure you're centering, so your center dot is already at the headshot height, and that way you're getting those headshot practices in. Another good tip to help you get a lot more headshots is being higher than the other player, as it makes their head easier to hit and their body's essentially smaller to you, and this can drastically help you get those headshots a lot easier. But the main thing is you always want to be centered on their head. Pre-aiming can also be a big thing, so you want to be pre-aimed on an area you know people are going to be coming from. And just doing this until you say 30 kills or more at the start of each session you have can drastically improve your headshot capability and help you get more headshots throughout the session. So I just run around like you would be playing a normal match. Work on having your center dot at the height of people where you would be going through. So all you need to do essentially is aim in, and you'll get those headshots. Another big tip when it comes to getting headshots a lot easier is picking the right game mode depending on what weapon you're using. So if you're using snipers or anything that's pretty much a one hit to the head, I generally go to core. That'll be the best option. You can take a few hits, but if you hit them with the sniper in the head, they're going to die one shot. But if you're using any weapons that suck or take a million bullets to get a headshot, say like the compact 92 or any of the pistols, I definitely change my game mode to hardcore and do this in hardcore. You can end up in a blender in hardcore, but generally 9 times out of 10, you are going to get a lot more headshots in hardcore, as it's a 1 bullet kill no matter what. And if you're already set up pre-aiming where their head will be and you get that shot off on the head, you will get a lot more headshots. So the way to get into hardcore is in the quick play, you go press square to filter, you press R1 and you can jump over to all the hardcore. So you can set this up for the smaller maps, say Mosh Pit, or you can set it up for Nuketown. But for some reason at the moment, you can't set this up for Stakeout 24/7. I don't know why they haven't put this in here, but hopefully they will in the future, as Stakeout is probably the best map to be getting headshots. However, this can be done in any map. As we talked about earlier, 2 of the biggest things and most important things when it comes to getting a lot more headshots is centering and so you always want to have your center dot positioned already at head level, so all you need to do is aim down sight, or even if you're hip firing, you've got a lot more chance of getting a headshot with the hip fire than you do if you were centering above or below or on the ground or anywhere else. And when it comes to pre-aiming, if you're going to get in the spot and camp and go for just them headshots, which I highly recommend if you're not the best at aiming and not the best at flying around, if you want to sit on a certain spot, say on face off, like up here where we're just sitting on the balcony, you want to pre-aim, and you can use your teammates as they run through to set up the exact spot that you need to pre-aim to get those headshots. And the only way that you're going to get beaten pretty much if you're already pre-aiming and ready at a spot is if that person slides out underneath your aim. Again, the reason that I jump up and I try and get as high as possible, it does help, as it essentially creates a spot where the head a bit bigger from your position and the body's a bit smaller, so you have a better chance of getting headshots. So when it comes to the ideal spot that you want to try and get on a map for headshots, you want to try and get into a heady where you've got your body protected so you're harder to hit. You also want to try and get elevated so it creates that position where you actually make their body smaller compared to their head, and you've got a higher chance of getting a headshot. And you want to be in a high traffic area so that you're getting as many kills as possible and more chance of getting headshots. So one of my 2 favorite spots on, say, Warhead is using this house at the very back of the map. That's a great spot. Or using this nuke. This is one of the best spots in the game, I think, when it comes to getting headshots, as that Hattie is unreal. You can barely see the top of their head when they're hiding behind that end of it. But from your point of view, when you're sitting there, you can see everyone pretty easily and get a lot more headshots. When it comes to Stakeout, you can sit in the kitchens and look down the hallway, although I found this is pretty hard to get headshots for me personally. My favorite spot would be being out on that balcony, especially on this side where you're sitting there. You can jump up on top of the railing and people spawn in front of you and you get a bulk headshots, but the other side is just as good as well. Nuketown's pretty good for headshots. You can of course sit in the windows or just watch down the fire lanes, but there's no real spot where you have a god heady or a spot where people are just going to pretty much come out and you've got that headshot potential. Another good spot to get headshots is on Gala. If you can get into that top center position and you can hold that top bit, look down on everyone's spawn, you can get a lot of headshots as you're looking down on everyone. And the best maps are obviously the smaller maps where you get a lot more kills and a lot more shots at getting those. So I generally stick to Face Off Mosh Pit or Nuketown 24/7. Definitely Stakeout 24/7, as this is a really good map. You're always getting bulk kills and there's some really good spots to farm those headshots. Cheers for watching. I appreciate it. If this video helped you out, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I've got a lot of guides out to help you guys with this dark matter grind, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.